plants. This week is about plants. I've been waiting to get here for a while because I happen to have a lot of plants. This is one of my one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9, 10, 11. This is one of my 11 house plants. Actually, 12, because this is two plants in two small separate containers. I love growing plants for two reasons. One is that I think it makes me more self-sufficient. If anything bad ever happened to the point where I couldn't get my own food, at least I could grow my own food because I know how plants work. I know how they reproduce, what parts of the plant do what, so that I can keep them healthy. On top of that, I can identify plants in the wild. Now, not to the extent that a lot of other people can. There's probably every other biology teacher at Harlem High School could do a better job than I could of identifying a plant. But I know a lot of the edible ones, so that if I'm ever stuck, I can still find some food. I think it's important to have that independence in your life. But there's another sort of more philosophical reason that I love plants, and it's that they are the cornerstone of all life on Earth. They are the key to keeping everything else alive. Not just because they make oxygen, all right? Although that is a pretty big deal. But when you think about it, they are the only ones who can provide energy to the rest of the population of living beings on Earth. They take the sun's light and convert it into something that we can use. If we didn't have them, then the animals that we eat couldn't get their food. So we couldn't even rely on eating other animals. We would still need the plants. So it's in our best interest to learn about them and learn how to respect them and care for them. With that in mind, plants are a lot to cover. Plants are a huge subject in biology, and we got a week to learn it. So, unfortunately, I'm going to throw some crash course videos at you this week. I know Hank Green does not have the least annoying voice in the world, but he's a little bit better than me. And I know the videos are a bit longer than our usual format, but it's a lot of material to cover. So this week, I'm going to let Hank Green and Crash Course take care of what you need to know. The big reason being that they're more concise than I could be. I hope that that's not too much trouble for you guys. It's just two videos, one covering non-vascular plants, that's the mosses and the liverworts. I happen to have a moss garden here. If you didn't see it in last week's update, this is it. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? Pretty nice. And the other one is on vascular plants, such as this one, which can grow taller because they have a way to get water up to higher leaves and stems through xylem and phloem. You will learn more about those in the videos. But I wanted to give you guys a quick preview on non-vascular plants because I happen to have this new moss garden, and I have two different stages of moss life. So let's get into this before I set you loose. Okay, take a look at this. I zoomed in real close so you could see it, but you see these little balls they look like little balls on sticks right here. They are all over about half of the moss. You can see it right here. My little metal pointer is holding on to them right now. These are called sporophytes, and they release spores into the air, which then become the haploid gametophytes that you see here. This is the green moss, which you're probably more familiar with. And I have got half of the moss in this garden in the sporophyte stage, and half of it in the gametophyte stage. And what's going to happen is these gametophytes will eventually mate by having a male gametophyte release sperm that is flagellated, so it's literally swimming through water, and it will swim through the water to a female one. And this whole thing is, it has to take place with water around because they can't swim through air. So once the female is fertilized, you'll see these diploid sporophytes spring up, and they will release spores, which then become haploid gametophytes once again. So take a look at this. This is the gametophyte stage. All of these are haploid, and all of them look like, if you can get in real close, you might be able to see this on a few of them, that they look like little rosettes of leaves. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. All of the footage that you saw was from this tiny dish right here, just zoomed in images of this moss that I've been keeping for about 5 days. And it seems pretty complex once you zoom in, right? It seems much more nuanced than you might have thought moss could be, that there's this complex life cycle that it goes through, that there's more than one structure, there's more than one type of moss in this one dish. But these are the simplest of the plants that live on land. These are the first ones that came out of the ocean and decided to start living on rocks. They are the earliest in the phylogenetic line, the non-vascular bryophytes, as we would call them. So let's learn more about them and their reproductive cycle. And then after that, we'll dive into vascular plants and learn some things about their structure and functions. I'm super excited about this.